Well, the mystery of whether 198 had a twin and it drowned or not is solved. This morning's video, the first one I shot, I didn't know 198 was even thinking about calving, but I shot it from back up there towards those trees. There's a second electric fence. I was shooting from that ridge looking this way. This was water about 75 feet wide, and even some people in my family have asked, well, what in the world is that? And this is a terrace, a metal terrace on this farm. The water comes from up there in that cornfield all the way over to that house. It drains quite a substantial amount. That yellow thing right there is a 10-inch tile outlet, and our soil and water conservation people wasn't sure if we could even put that in, if we could handle this. This thing backs water around towards that hedgerow up there, and then it backs water right on around and goes that way, and then that terrace makes a turn and runs parallel with those trees over there and comes out. So it's well over a quarter-mile of terrace and diversion. And when we get huge fast rains, it backs water all the way up to that road, so it stops erosion. And as you can see by the black mark on all this grass, if you look down in there, there's silt and there's dirt on all that. This is probably over the last 6 years or so has filled in, at least 18 inches, maybe 24 inches of silt. That sometime we might even have to remove that, because that tile drain should be up out of the ground about 30 inches, and as you can see, there's only about 12 of it left. By the way, it has been run into by this gator and needs to be repaired. But yeah, that water took about 5 hours to go down, so every bit of sediment that was in this area has settled down into this grass. And the cows are up over that hill now. And I just still had a little bit of dread coming back down here, because 198 was looking in over that fence right there this morning. She was right there in that corner, and she was looking into that water, which was 80 feet wide, and she was bawling like her calf had went off in that. And so for an hour and a half, I was sick at my stomach. I thought I didn't get her soon enough, and we'd lost calf number 11. And then I shot a video later that shows where, she calved. She moved with the cows when I moved them up that hill, and she didn't break her water till then. And we have the video of her calf making his first big splash onto the ground, literally. He had his head doubled back under him. He might have would have got up okay. I think he would have. He was breathing. But anyways, I just wanted to show what this looks like without water. Earlier this morning, there's a little over a minute long video that shows this all underwater. This is part of the conservation work that we did, for this to be cropland, but it does also work with pasture, but it does create some unique problems. So not going to make a lengthy, boring thing here, because some of you really don't care, but those that care about soil conservation, this terrace is also designed that it will not run over the top. It stopped a great big ditch that used to go down through, and they didn't want it going over the top and cutting out and making the ditch again. So if it gets up within about a foot of the top of that berm, it goes all the way around that hill on the grade, and it spills water out into another waterway and gently goes down to the drain area that's in those trees. So we care about our soil in Missouri. We're regenerative, but we also grew up as, for almost 100 years on this farm, taking care of the soil through good management practices. So Papa Hank, just a good finish to a very emotional day. Natural Grandma.